Part 2 in our endless series about every subclass in the game. We continue with the Bard. Welcome to the Attic Dungeon. My name is Sam, and whether you're a student of lore or you tell the most legendary stories, I'm here to help you with everything. So last time we did 3 subclasses, today we're doing 2 and the next time 3 again, and then we're already done with the Bard. Class 1 will be down soonishly. Today we are going to talk about the College of Lore and the College of Spirits, but not before I thank you for watching this. It makes me so happy to see that people are actually enjoying the stuff I put online. Huzzah! It motivates me to get into my musty attic dungeon on this beautiful spring day. Let's delve into today's business then. So, 2 subclasses, very simple. The first one is I think these prototype Bard class, as people know. It's one of the player handbook subclasses. It is the College of Lore. It is the most bardy Bard of the 2 in the player handbook. And I think it's one of the classes that people know best. It's also one of the simplest classes to explain subclasses, but with the widest variety of choice included. And you will see why. So, the College of Lore, your Bard just likes to study hard. They're looking for lost knowledge in temples, stories that no one has ever heard of. You know, secret stuff. Not dark secret stuff, but just lost stuff. You're an avid student. As I've mentioned before, Bards are probably the second hardest studying class after the Wizard. So, College of Lore, study Bard. What do they get? At level 3, you gain a whopping 3 skill proficiencies, which is pretty damn decent. You're a Bard, you already have a lot of skill proficiencies. You already have Jack of all trades pumping up your non-proficient skills, but now you gain 3 more proficiencies. Granted, this does make Jack of all trades a bit less powerful, because the more proficient skills you have, the less powerful Jack of all trades, the less skills Jack of all trades affects, of course. But I mean, who says no to more skills? The Lore Bard is the best skill monkey among Bards, because you can pick any skills here. You're not limited to Bard skills. This is not like, for example, the College of Eloquence that only gets expertise in like persuasion or deception. No, 3 proficiencies, period. Any skills, your Bard can be amazing at fighter skills now, and that's pretty fun. But that's not the main feature, of course. The main feature at level 3, your bardic inspiration feature, is of course cutting words. So the idea here is that as a reaction, whenever something in your neighborhood, sounds like the start of Ghostbusters, when something strange in your neighborhood rolls an attack roll, an ability check, or a damage roll, you can use a reaction to roll one of your bardic inspiration die and deduct the number. This is pretty powerful. Let's be honest, this is a targeted Bane without a save. You can roll the cutting words after the roll, but before you know the result. Now, depending on whether your dungeon master is willing to tell you how much the roll is, this can be really, and they should, otherwise this becomes a really annoying ability. So your dungeon master rolls, they tell you how much, and then you can intervene and go like, But technically speaking, before you know the result, you couldn't ask someone what their armor class is, whatever. So if an enemy is attacking you, you can potentially make their attack fail. This is obviously extremely good against spell attack rolls, since they have no effect when they miss. This is very good against spell attack rolls. And the higher your bardic inspiration die goes, the better this becomes, of course. It can also be nice to foil an ability check or just a damage roll. If the attack does come through, if damage comes through from a save spell, for example, somebody fails a save, you can at least reduce a bit of damage. But I think the main use here is to make attacks go bleh. And it's good at making attacks go blah. Once your bardic inspiration die is like a d8 or a d10, that's a hefty sum to deduct from any attack. Since we're playing with bounded accuracy here, -10 is always going to hurt. Even -6, if you take the average of a d10 at high levels, 6, even 6 is going to hurt any attack real bad. So that's your level 3. It's not snazzy fireworks. I know the Lore Bard is strong, is very strong, but is not snazzy. It's not shebang. You get some colorful abilities that make you visually shine. As always, you have to add the flavor yourself, but the abilities are really strong. Especially, and that's why people play the Lore Bard, level 6, you get 2 more magical secrets. Remember my Bard video where I talked about the general features? If I'm not mistaken, the Bard gets their first magical secrets at level 10, which means by then you're up to 5th level spells or something. 5th level spells, sorry. Yeah, 5th level spells. I think I just said 5th twice. Nobody cares. 5th level spells. And then you have a lot of spells to choose from, right? At level 10 you have to look at the 3, 4, 5 spells and for every class and go like, what do I want here? Here, at level 6, you gain 2 extra magical secrets from what I think is one of the most valuable spell pools there is, namely 3rd level spells. Often, bards like to pick up haste or counter spell at level 10. Lore bards can do it at level 6 like a normal person would, kind of. They do it at level 5, of course. But at level 6, you can pick 2 very strong 3rd level spells and have them with you until the end of days. And then you actually have your level 10 and your later magical secrets to select from the higher spell group. So having magical secrets here makes your later magical secrets abilities more powerful. And that is where the high power level that I just said of the Lore Bard comes from. Oh yeah, I forgot to say, but at the end of the subclasses I'll obviously rate the power level, but you can already guess where this one's going. And then at level 14, well, since level 6 is so good and level 3 is actually really good as well, the capstone is a bit lackluster, but acceptable, by the way. It's not bad. So basically, at level 14, when you make an ability check, you can roll a Bardic Inspiration die. So you expend 1 use and you roll a Bardic Inspiration die and you add it to the ability check. Again, post-roll but pre-result. So after you roll but before you know the exact result in case of a skill check that is relevant. You're walking along a bridge and you're about to fall. The DM will not tell you you're falling. You have to kind of estimate how fucked am I here. And this sounds like luster because like, so I can hand out more Bardic Inspirations. No, the thing here is actually that you can Bardic Inspire yourself for an ability check. And don't forget, initiative rolls and skill checks are ability checks, obviously. So you can buff your own initiative roll, should that be necessary. Could be, for having that vital first turn to cast Hypnotic Pattern somewhere along the road. Quite possible. So this is actually the only bard who can use their Bardic Inspiration to buff their own ability checks. And what's more, this does not cost you a bonus action. It can be done on the spot when you have to roll it. Because obviously other players, when they roll the ability check and you haven't Bardic'd them, you cannot quickly Bardic them. There's no reaction Bardic Inspiration. This kind of is reaction Bardic Inspiration on your own ability checks. So it's not wow game breaking, but really useful in a pinch if you know you're going to fail a crucial ability check. So that is the Lore Bard. You get extra skills, you get a strong debuff on attack rolls and damage rolls, you get extra spells from any spell list, and you can Bardic yourself for specific situations. It's strong. The Lore Bard is one of the stronger Bard classes out there. There's no doubt about it. It's not an Eloquence Bard, thank God, because it's broken, but this is like below Eloquence, but fun and very playable. Of course, more magical secrets means you need more knowledge of the game and the spells to use it at maximum efficiency, but who needs maximum efficiency anyway? It's a fun bard. They do remain squishy, obviously. There's, apart from cutting words, not a lot of defense options here, but oh well, deal with it. Just stand back, look up Lost Lore and cast Lightning Bolt. That's what I would do. Alright, that was our Lore Bard. And thus we move to our second subclass for today, and that is the College of Spirits. Now the College of Spirits has a bit of a weird lore, I think. Basically the idea is that you can reach out to spirits who tell you tales. And these are like legendary tales, epic tales. They carry power, allowing you to bring forth spirits as well, but you don't always control what they do. There's also a strong like fortune teller, card reader vibe to this subclass. I actually quite like it. I think if you want to make a storyteller bard, this is one of your better options to dress up the bard. But the question is, of course, what does the spirit bard do? Now at level 3 you gain 3 things kind of. First off, you gain a bonus cantrip, and the bonus cantrip is a guidance. Everybody loves guidance. Guidance allows you to add a d4 to any ability roll, allows you to touch a creature, which is allowed to add a d4 to any ability check in the following minute or whatever. 2 downsides to guidance: concentration and its touch. The spirit bard eliminates the touch requirements. Your guidance has a 60-foot range, which is really good, allows for a lot more flexibility and like emergency guidancing without having to move around. So it's fun. You get an A-tier guidance. It's not an overpowered ability at all, but it's strong because guidance is a very popular cantrip. That d4 can matter at all levels of the game. Your second ability is a bit useless at level 3, but gains use as you go on. That is spiritual focus. As a spellcasting focus, instead of just instruments, you can now also use stuff like a candle, a Taroka deck, a spirit board, and crystal ball or a skull. Ask the necromancer for a spare skull and you can cast spells again. Huzzah! Now, why would you want to do this? At level 6, you unlock the second part to this ability, which allows you to add a d6 to any damage or healing roll you cast while wielding one of these spiritual foci. Only to one roll of the spell though. So for example, if you're casting Mass Healing Word, you can only add the d6 to one person's healing, not to the entire pool. Still, it's free bonus damage or free bonus healing. Who are we to say no? Also, this allows you to make a nice darky, edgy kind of barbarian. So that's fun. Your main feature, your Bardic Inspiration feature, is Tale from Beyond, which is a 2-parter ability. Part 1, you spend the Bardic Inspiration and die and use a bonus action to roll on the Spirit Story table, or what's it called? It's a d12 that you roll, and whatever story or tale you end up on, that's the one you'll remember. That is what the spirits are narrating to you. Every tale has a specific effect attached to it, and you can use this effect as an action. So first you kind of look at it as a bonus action. You memorize a semi-random spell, and as an action you can actually use this effect. The effects vary greatly. There's options that allows you to attack with twice your Bardic Inspiration, triple in some cases. There's a buff to saving throws, temporary hit points, a teleport, short range teleport, giving somebody Dragon Breath, actual healing, psychic blasts. It's good, and it all has, the actions all have a 30 feet range even, and that's important to note. There's like the Tale of the Renowned Duelist, which is a melee spell attack, but it's a melee spell attack at 30 feet range. Why? It makes sense actually. The second part of the ability allows you to pull someone closer. Why would you pull someone closer if you're already in melee range? That makes no sense. But it clearly lists in the explanation for Tale from Beyond that all the abilities have a 30 feet range. So that includes any melee abilities, which is cool. It allows for some shenanigans somewhere, I guess. The effects are decent. They are not bad at all. The good news is if there's any spell DCs or DCs being mentioned, they actually scale with your DCs. A lot of them mention your Bardic Inspiration die, so those also scale with level. So these abilities will remain relevant all the way up to the higher levels because the resources that are used to enact them also grow with you. Your spell DC should grow with you, and your bardic dice always grow with you. The effects are decent. Huzzah. It's a fun feature. I like those semi-random feature. Like, this is not going to wipe the party like wild magic does for the sorcerers, but it's fun to see, like, hit the jackpot, see what you get, and work with those tools. I like that, and I also like the flavor of this subclass. I should really play one of these bards. But that is Tale from the Beyond, so a list of 12 buffs, debuffs, attacks mixed to each other, of which you get one that you can use once as an action, and then of course you can spend another bardic inspiration, roll again on the table, etc, etc, and you reset them on long rest, or once you're level 5 and you start resetting your bardics on short rest, you can get a lot of mileage out of this table, let's be honest. At level 6, your main level 6 ability, the first one being the second part of Spiritual Focus, is Spirit Session. And at first it sounds like an additional magical secret, because you're allowed to pick up any spell from any class. We know how that works, but there's limitations. When you do this Spirit Session, which is a ritual that takes an hour, first off, there's limitations. There can be a number of participants in the session equal to your proficiency bonus, which at this point is 3, so 3 people, which includes yourself, so you and 2 people can perform the ritual, and then you learn any spell from any class, but the level of the spell has to be equal to your proficiency bonus, and it has to be a divination or a necromantic spell. There we are, necromantic spell. You can do this once per long rest, and you know the spell until you take a long rest. So that's all good. But it's a niche pool of spells to pick from, which doesn't mean there's not any good stuff in there. Even at level 3, so when you're level 6 and your proficiency is 3, so you can pick level 3 spells, you can take stuff like Revivify, Tongues, nice utility spell. Bestow Curse, strong spell, Bestow Curse. It's saving throw based, I know, so it can miss, but the effect is really strong. And Animate Dead, so if you always wanted your bard to have an undead army, there you go. Channel the spirits of the ancestors into some random bodies lying around, and chop chop, off you go. If you level all the way up and your proficiency bonus is 6, you can take level 6 spell, of course, and then you are quite capable of picking up stuff like Harm, Eye Bite, which I really like, and Soul Cage. So there's strong spells even within the niche of this ability. It gains a lot of its power from the fact that it's flexible, that every day you can pick another spell, whereas magical secrets, obviously, you're stuck with. You take your magical secret and then you're stuck with it, period. Whereas this one, every day you can pick a different spell. So there are options there. The niche picks are compensated by the fact that you swap every day. And then at level 14, you gain Mystical Connection. That's very simple. When you use your Tales from Beyond feature, you get to roll twice, and you pick which number you use. And if you roll the same number, let's say both of your d12 show an 8, you can actually pick from the entire list. So this offers a modicum of control over a random table of effects. So this is a nice utility bard, provides buffs, debuffs, damage, but you have little control over what you provide, which for most people will make it weaker. But personal opinion, the fact that some of those tales allow you to hit for 3 times your bardic inspiration dice, so there's a potential of, even at mid-level, hitting for 3d8 on a single target with an added effect, like knocking him prone or shoving him or whatever, without spending a spell slot. You're actually spending a resource that from level 5 you get back on a short rest. This actually makes it pretty good, but random. So is this a good bard subclass? Yes, it is. Is it the strongest one around? No, it's not, but I think it's a lot of fun. And there we are. That is what we're going to talk about for today. We've delved into the secret of lore, we've communed with the spirits, and that is all. Please let me know in the comments down below if you've ever played one of those College of Spirit bards, because I really want to play one now, but I'm also quite curious to how they have performed at your table. And there we are. I'm going to enjoy the outside sun. Now I hope to see you all in 2 weeks in the Attic Dungeon.